So, Kirby lore. Let's get right into it. I have a little bit of a presentation. So first, we're going to be looking at, well, somebody made a handy chart. So that's the good news. The good news is somebody made a handy chart that shows us what, it explains Kirby lore. So that should make things easy for us, I think. I don't think that's going to make it easy. Okay, so let's see. Let's just zoom in. That's Kirby. We know Kirby. And Kirby's got mirror counterpart? His rival, King Dedede. Yeah, okay. But he also has a mirror counterpart. Wait. What? So, who is this? Summoned by mirror hoarders? Wait a minute. Queen Sectonia. Drossia. Wait, I remember Drossia. Okay, there's something that I remember. That was from Canvas Curse. I didn't know she had sisters. Well, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we'll hold over. So I didn't. Okay. I remember a couple of things. Oh, the Star Rod. Yeah, we know the Star Rod. What are the ancients? Okay. I feel like maybe we're gonna need to untangle this. Yeah, we're gonna need to untangle this, and we're gonna start at the beginning. We're gonna go through all of the Kirby lore. Oh, wait a second. There. All the Kirby lore that we can. Starting at the beginning. So, when he was just 19, Masahiro Sakurai created, came up with a proposal for a game called Twinkle Popopo. This was the mock-up box art that he did. That sure looks like Kirby. They actually went through a bunch of iterations for this. It took a while for them to like kind of, there was a development process. So at first he was going to be named Popopo, but they got in touch with Nintendo of America, and yeah, they didn't really like the name Popopo very much. It wasn't appealing. So they Nintendo of America sent over a list of names. I guess they were all English names, but one that really stuck out to Sakurai was the name Gaspar. That one didn't end up sticking because Miyamoto recognized the name Kirby on that list. Because Jack Kirby, a lot of people know this, Jack Kirby was the lawyer who saved Nintendo from Universal Studios way back when Nintendo had made Nintendo made Donkey Kong, and the likeness to King Kong is very obvious. Universal Studios sued Nintendo over it. Turns out they didn't they didn't own that. They actually didn't own the rights to King Kong. King Kong was actually public domain at the time. And I think it was even Universal Studios that made it public domain. Excuse me. So they ended up going with the name Kirby, which to them was really funny because Kirby sounded like a very harsh name in Japanese, apparently. Whereas it sounds like super cute here, right? Kirby. It ends in that IE sound. Whereas, like, I guess Kabi sounds harsher. I don't know. But, yeah, this ended up being the box art for the game that would be called Kirby's Dream Land. I like that. Yeah, that's true. Kirby's also a vacuum brand, and that is completely coincidental. So when I was a kid, one of my favorite movies was Brave Little Toaster, and the vacuum's named Kirby, named for the vacuum brand. But I wasn't aware of the brand because I was a kid. So what I knew was, oh, Kirby, it's named Kirby because he sucks things. He's a vacuum. He inhales. Oh. But that was pure coincidence. It also didn't help that the blanket would the way the blanket would say his name was like Kirby. It was like really cutesy. So this is the Japanese box art right here. And what I want to do before I start every Kirby game is I want to show the box art for each one. So I'm going to show the, this is the Japanese box art, and this is the American box art. And honestly, like between the two, I don't like the background on this one is kind of a mess in my opinion. It doesn't really tell you anything about what's going to be happening in the game. We got like a poppy brother, and a fish, and some environments. And this one shows us actually some enemies. I mean, they're a little funky looking, but they're mostly, well, actually, I don't know what this guy is, the orange one. That's a little bit of a mystery to me. But Kirby looks like Kirby, except that he's white. There are a few theories on why Kirby is white here. One is that they thought that pink was not appealing, but there isn't actually any proof of that, and it may well just be that he wasn't pink in the game. So it was just, you know, sprite interpretation. Because honestly, that's pretty consistent with the rest of this. Like, that's how you would interpret these guys. Wispy Woods looks like Wispy Woods, except that he is, well, he's a little creepy looking, I guess. But he looks correct. I think this is a pretty good box art. It tells you, well, it doesn't tell you anything about what the game's going to be doing. Which actually, is the next thing that I wanted to show. So something I'm also going to talk about a lot is the design pillars of each game. And games at the time, they were very simple. So a design pillar is just like the foundation of the game. This is the core concept. And Kirby's Dream Land. Actually, I like to ask this. Does anyone know what it might be? Knowing Kirby's Dream Land, what might the pillars be? a design pillar. So design pillars are like, an example might be, Mario is a game about athletics. So it's all about running and jumping. That's Mario. Is running and jumping, it's all athletics. So what might Kirby be about? Kirby, the main pillar was using enemies. That's the whole idea. Using enemies is the core design pillar of Kirby. Using enemies. So you can inhale enemies. So Sakurai gave him an inhale ability, and he can spit them out again. So I'm gonna show some commercials. I think I want to do those before. I went back and forth between like, should I show these before or after I play the game, and I think before is gonna be fine. I have the American commercial and the Japanese commercial. I'm gonna show the Japanese one first, as usual, because I mean that's the one that would have been made first. Here we go.
丸書いてお豆が2つおむすび1つあっという間に星のカビなんでも吸い込む星のカビ
吸い込みぶっつけ攻撃ぷかぷか空飛びの術かわいいやんちゃポーズ星のカービィゲームボーイで新発売
I recognized the word kawaii in there. Yeah, so very cute commercial, clearly intended to appeal to kids. Because that was one thing that was important to Sakurai, was appealing to children. Because, well, at the time, games were designed to be very hard. That was the whole thing. So this was kind of making it easy, was kind of like novel, making it appeal to kids. That was kind of a new idea. However, in the US, they had other ideas.
Recently, we compared two superheroes, Dashing Super Guy and Kirby from Nintendo. In some ways, Kirby lost big. No big hair, no big muscles, no weapons, nothing. All Kirby's got is appetite. Kirby's Dream Land, the thrilling adventure game on Game Boy. Kirby munches, spits back, and floats, saving glorious Dreamland. He's Kirby, and he packs a mean bite. Kirby's Dream Land, only on Game Boy.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. That they appealing to children. Maybe, I mean, I guess what appealed to kids was different. Yeah, I remember that one too. Not they made him very dude bro. Yeah, definitely. I don't even know where to start with that. Like, it was just like, let's just make like, I mean, he was white on the box art, so like whoever was making that commercial, given like the box art and the gameplay, there was no reason for them to think he was anything other than white. I can't believe they whitewashed Kirby. But I didn't like that commercial. That's like, let's make Kirby cool and like badass and stuff. Also the mention of his bite, he doesn't bite. Like, it's like he's not, I don't know. I don't know. All right. I think I've talked enough about Kirby. Let's just play one. We're never going to get through them if we don't actually play. Does Does Kirby even have teeth? Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen Kirby have teeth, and I don't want to. In fact, there are some edits that they gave Kirby teeth, and that's well, I don't want to live in that world. Alright, Kirby's Dream Land. This is the start. How is the audio? Is that too loud? Should I turn it down a little bit? Good, good. Alright. Perfect. Alright, Kirby's Dream Land. I used to play this a lot as a kid. So, let's see how quickly I can beat it. I don't know. We'll find out. So, in Kirby's Dream Land, you only have like a few inputs. You can jump, you can inhale, you can walk around. One new thing that's kind of unique to Kirby though is you can fly. And this was definitely part of making this game more like beginner friendly. You can inhale enemies and spit them out. And that right there, so I love talking about this. That was to demonstrate, hey, do you understand the main mechanic of the game? Inhaling, press it again. So if you press the attack button, you'll inhale that first enemy. If you press it again to attack the second enemy, you'll spit it out. You've now learned what inhaling does. And we can't progress until we have proven that we understand jumping. That's how games, when you only had 2 buttons on the controller, that was what you did. You just press them and find out what they did. So here's something else that's really interesting about this game. These enemies that are moving, they're not on, like, they're actually, oh yeah, we gotta learn flying. So now we learn how to fly. If you don't fly, you can't pass this. The enemies are actually all on, on scripted paths. Sakurai actually by hand, like, mapped out the path for all the enemies, which is really funny. Yeah, damage-less run over, for sure. They give us some health right away, so because we were just learning. If we're brand new, if we're a child and we're trying to learn the game, we probably ran into a lot of the enemies, so... And intuitively, you can inhale the food to eat it. Up to enter doors, it's kind of intuitive now, but, like, it says in to indicate, like, you can go in there. Each enemy has its own personal path assigned just to them, yes. Just to that specific instance of that enemy. So this guy, like, right here, I hit him on the way so I didn't get to show this. When you inhale, it takes his cap. So that enemy kind of takes 2 hits. This one is actually just a mushroom. I think that's very funny. Bottomless pits are another thing that was really common in games at the time, but the flight allows you to not die to those. There actually was an idea he had, I think, that would just make you maybe just fly back up out of the hole or something. I just killed the first Poppy brother in all of Kirby, so let me respawn him. There he is, Poppy Brother Jr., the very first one. And then they just give it, like, just give a mess of enemies to let us really, like, did you learn your stuff? Here's the very first Warp Star. I'm gonna be quiet for this Warp Star because I love the sound that it makes so much. They've never changed it. It's been iconic from the start, and it's always gonna be amazing. You get such a cool Doppler effect. I love that. And straight into our first mid-boss, Poppy Brother Sr. And if you press down, you will just eat things, which is also kind of intuitive. And he's pretty easy. You just take his bombs, spit them out, and that's it. They started giving us some more complex enemies. Also, the Cappies, if you damage them, they die in 1 hit. This kind of always looked like a a hippo to me, like a hippo with like a bandit mask, but I think it's, I don't know what this is. I mean, later on it looks like in later games this sprite looks like a bear, so I guess it's supposed to be a bear. Are those eyes? I like that, like, there's two different ways to get the Poppy Brothers on the ball. Let me see, is it on a ball or an apple? I love that they ride this. Oh yeah, so that's actually a good example right there, is like, he's riding, he just programmed each of their paths so that they just do that. So it looks like he's riding them. And I guess maybe it's programmed so that he flies up like that, so it's a little bit more sophisticated, I suppose. The bigger enemy is not any harder, though. It takes the same number of hits, which is 1, no matter how you do it. Also, if you spit out the air that you have, that's another attack. Star blocks. And this level, I like the way it progresses. Like, it's a really good little, like, you're going through like a field, like a little meadow, and then you come into the forest on the warp star, and then you go into a tree. You get two at the same time. And, well, I haven't taken much more damage, but that would be a maximum tomato. Oh, so I already picked it up, but the reason that the tomato has a M on it is because they can mirror the sprite. And immediately we have some boss music as soon as we come out that door. So we know that something is happening, something big is gonna happen. We can only go down. So if we were afraid of falling into a pit, like, well, we have to overcome that fear now. The previous pit actually did have an indicator on the bottom of it that showed that it was dangerous. And it's Wispy Woods. And all you have to do is take his apples and spin him back out. There's no other way to hurt him. And air puffs don't do anything. I feel like I need a Kirby dance emote. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I guess I have Kirby Jam. Castle Lololo. The first one was Green Greens. This stage did not get reused very much. I mean, there are a lot of castle stages. You see that? It goes back and forth until it, like, drops off. That's programmed by hand. Castle Lololo, though, is named after a character who is, well, named in a style that's consistent with Kirby, or at least was. Because Kirby was originally Po-Po-Po, so Lololo matched that. Also, this looks like a candlestick, but it's actually supposed to be a microphone. That's the first instance of mic. And this place is a lot different. So we just came out of a door, and we cannot go back through it. But there are two different ways to go. So bats and ghosts, a bomb. I'm curious about that bomb. No? Okay. And the broom hatter looks like a witch. That kind of just became an iconic enemy, but yeah, it was supposed to be like spooky at first. These question mark blocks, I don't... Oh, I guess that's a thing in this one. So when you fall, like, Kirby kind of points downward after a second or two. I believe that damages enemies. Yeah, like, enemies will pop out of these, but there's otherwise not really any way to interact with them. The mask is very reminiscent of, like, Mario 2, and obviously the question mark blocks are very reminiscent of any Mario game. Also, this room loops. It tiles back on itself. So it's kind of cool. We didn't see that before. So it really emphasizes, like, this is a like, confusing funhouse This is the first instance of water in Kirby. You can't inhale in water. You can't do anything. I think that there was an intention of spitting out water, but it didn't make it into the game. That might be our first Gordo? The sprite for Gordo has changed almost none from game to game. Like Oh, also, the way that I want to point this out while there's one on the screen. Gordo is actually, like the data for it, is actually just one corner of the thing. It's like 2 frames of animation. Just one of those corners, 2 frames, and it's just like mirrored radially all the way around. I like Kirby's swim walk animation, yeah. He just walks slowly in the water. Some invincibility candy. They really kind of like... That's like our second like power-up in this level, and we didn't see any in the first. Like mummy spheres, ghosts, and another one of these blocks. Now we drop down for the Warp Star. Gotta have your Warp Star. He just blasts into the other castle. And here's Lololo. So, Lololo is a pretty blatant reference to the game Adventures of Lolo. It's like the same sprite and he pushes blocks. Why are we killing him? I don't know. He's pushing blocks and we don't like that. After you beat him, it just kind of fades to the next area. I don't remember a whole lot of this level because, like, I mean, that was a long time ago, and they never, like, brought it back. Now there's a power-up you don't see much anymore. Spicy curry. We get to immediately really show it off with that group of enemies. This area is actually kind of similar to that last, like, tree space of Green Greens. And it's designed as, like, an absolute maze. I think they reused a section like this in Kirby's Adventure, maybe? Because this room is certainly familiar. I think they redid this again. The correct door is the most obvious one, the last one. Oh yeah, that's another one. The guys that fall down those stairs, yeah, there's no gravity. Those are programmed by hand. That's the path that he drew out for them. Yeah, just like remember that every single time. Some enemies do fly towards you, so those do have a little bit of AI to them. Now we fight Lololo and La La La. Also, I think this is the first time you can drop through platforms. Maybe there was you might have been able to in the first level. Got him. All right, get your dancing emotes ready. I have a lot of dancing emotes installed, so I want to see some of them. Stage 3, Float Islands. So, I like that the enemies are pretty, like, themed to... Oh yeah, we got a bomb, which we can spit out. I didn't do that the first time. Because you would think, oh, bomb, I shouldn't eat that, right? I think that's our first Waddle-Doo. So Float Islands has made some reappearances, and yeah, the music especially has become like very iconic Kirby music. This one's been remixed so many times. Yeah, look, they swim upward, but they just swim straight out of the water because that's just how they're programmed. Waddle Dee and Waddle Doo look as similar as they do because, just makes the sprites easier. Also these coconuts, so they'll fall, and they just kind of poof. In later games, they made them explode. Like, just detonate. Going into a cave. This room I remember a lot because I feel like I've seen this one a lot in a few different games. I have a distinct memory of like in this little room here. So actually, yeah, this is in Kirby Superstar. They remade this area, but this room was so much smaller. Here you go all the way to the bottom, get a 1-up, and then the door just takes you back. I have a distinct memory of that room in Superstar where, with a like a partner character just like exploding himself. They really want to test, make sure you understand like flight. This is a little bit trickier here. As a kid, I think this part was really hard for me, so I think I just like would just tank that guy. Also, like, I still have the compulsion to just destroy every block. It is interesting, right there. Your inhale prioritizes it. Oh, maybe not. I think he might have been a little too far away. But it seemed like it was prioritizing the enemy. They're worth points. They are worth points. That's another thing. That's kind of like one of the holdovers from arcade games. Like, so everything was kind of designed in the arcade style by default. Also, like, I would take so much damage during this power-up as a kid because... Oh, Kirby's flashing, that means he's invincible. No, he can just breathe fire. It's pretty obvious why we don't see Spicy Curry show up anymore, because now there's just a fire power-up. I'm not sure if I heard a little sound when I entered the water there, and I'm wondering if touching water ends the curry effect. It was about to end anyway, so it's kind of hard to tell. Alright, who's the boss of Float Islands? Let's find out. We're on a ship. Like, I like that about each level. You start in one place and then you wind up somewhere else. So we're on a ship. Oh, we always gotta take the warp star to a whale. Into the clouds. Lemon. It's, what is the enemy called? Kabula. And suddenly it's just a shoot 'em up. Stage 4, Bubbly Clouds. So I'm gonna show this afterwards, but the concept art for this level, the clouds are way more bubbly. What was that? What was that? What was that guy? Let's just. He just seemed lost. This is another song that's, like, iconic. I mean, obviously Green Greens is. But a lot of the music from this game really is. So this is Scarfy. You try to inhale him. And that's, I believe this is his first appearance. Also, he explodes. So it's a much tougher enemy to beat in this game because, like, that's your main weapon. So you don't have that. Coming down on a parasol. Parasols, I believe, aren't... Yeah, they're not even tangible. You can't interact with them at all. And yes, you could just fly over that guy. Which was always like, as someone said, that's always the coolest thing as a kid. Just like, ah, I got him. Sir Kibble. A lot of the iconic enemies being defined here. But that's kind of what happens in the first game. First game ends up being like the framework for every game after it. You always go back to that as your base. These guys are funny. Those are... Whoa! I want to see that again. So yeah, they like rev up. Okay, we're taking damage now. So despite this game being like made for kids, it's still kind of challenging. And part of that is like, remember y'all, for every enemy Kirby kills here, Sakurai wrote their personal path. He wrote their life that Kirby takes. These enemies had families. Many of them are fathers. Yeah, Sakurai wrote their path, their life story. So despite this being made for kids, like, part of it is like games were just that much harder then, but part of it is like, I think that the developers just trusted kids more. Dolly, what's in here?
Lemon.
Kreko Jr. Nice of him to like come down immediately after giving me ammunition. So there's a warp star in every level. This one we go up into space. Another lemon. Also, you might notice I can't have more than 2 puffs out at a time. I think the lemon power-up, I don't know why it's a lemon. I don't think I get that one. Whoa. But I think that's a good power-up. I don't know, I feel like they could have kept that one. I don't believe the spikes kill you. I'm pretty sure they just deal damage. There's nothing down there. I thought there was. I like that we're in space now. I mentioned that, I think I've mentioned that like every level, but I really like that you just, there's like a progression. We go through the forest and get to the castle. and then, like, a mint leaf? It's supposed to be a mint leaf? I don't get it. Makes his breath fresh? Sure, why not? Yeah, you start in the woods. You start in a meadow, go into the woods, and then like get to the castle, and then actually the castle's kind of like it's not a lot going on there. You don't really go. You just stay in the castle the whole time. Or the beach. All right, so everybody knows this secret. Maybe not, but. There's the door there, and that will just, I believe that just takes you straight to the boss. I actually don't really remember because I never go through there. I always go through the moon. Because everyone knows the moon secret. You go in the moon. If you didn't know the moon secret, I don't know, post a comment. And this boss plays out pretty much the same way as the sub-boss. And Krako, of course, is another very iconic boss. Shows up again and again. I like the damage animation he's got. You can also see like the radial symmetry, but just like it just spins the eye. That's it. Will we get to see the game over screen? Probably not. I might, maybe at the end I'll show it again. Or, there might be a reason that we'll see it. Maybe it'll get tough enough. Stage 5, Mount Dedede. I love that this is the only one where he like flies away from the title card. So it goes into like a much more of like a cutscene. Also, another character named in the style of Popopo. So rather than just going to the castle and immediately doing the boss fight, we do a little refresher. We can do these in any order. I'm just gonna do them in the order, because of course I am. Actually, no. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go backwards. They give us a little like sampler of the different stages. This is probably the least interesting one because you kind of just go down and oh, that's not solid. That's weird. That one's not solid. These ones are. And all we have to do is touch the Kirby. Clears all the enemies, including the Gordo, and then we fight the boss again. I told you to be seeing this guy a lot. What's interesting also is that the stage music is still playing, which kind of indicates like this isn't as, not that it's not as serious, but it's just like, I guess it's like more casual. I don't know. It makes it feel like you are expected to be like good at this now. You're expected to be able to beat this guy without a struggle. So it's really like having you like run through the gauntlet there. I don't know if his attack pattern is totally random, because it might be. So you're kind of at the mercy of RNG to, like, is that, am I gonna get my attack? And here we get this music for the first time. The sound effect for Krako dive always got stuck in my head. Yeah, that. It's really good. That's what happens when you die. I just kind of walked into that guy. Yeah, I guess we're like oddly close to the... Yeah, we're a little bit closer to the left side of the screen. It's kind of interesting. You can kind of see that. You get a tiny bit of wiggle room before the screen scrolls, so you have a tiny little space. And the screen will scroll to the right if you're at the center, but you have a little bit more to go back. So that's a little tougher. To go backwards. Which they don't have you do for most of the game. This might be the easiest boss. Maybe Wispy Woods is the easiest boss. There's not a lot to say about that one. I like the mask guys. I think they showed up in another game somewhere, but... Ah. Yeah, that was a pretty small stage. Anything down here? Oh, the enemies will still respawn though. I always thought this music was so, like, whimsical. It makes the whole, like, stage feel like a... Like a madhouse. Like it's like clown music. Got the box. Clown core music. Okay, maybe that's the easiest one. I mean, I was doing them backwards, so... Kirby 2 dope. Violent Kirby. Violent Curb. Where do we go now? Uh-oh. You'll find it eventually. As a kid, I always liked to try to beat him without flying. Because, like, he's pretty easy to beat if you just fly up in the air. But you have just enough jump height to get over him. I always thought that was cool. The lore is that, he's able to inhale through training. Oh, okay. It is pretty hard if you try to do it that way. Oh, yeah, I think flight's gonna be a thing for this one. Yeah, otherwise that's unavoidable. Wow, he's really stringing them together. I like that he just falls over. Got him. That's tougher than I remember. I think he flies out a different direction based on which way you hit him. And we get the first semblance of story. That's right, we've been playing this for Kirby lore. And when we raise the castle up, food drops out. So yeah, the story here is, of course, that King Dedede stole all the food, and you're going to get it back. Some credits. Special thanks, Bubby. I have no idea who Bubby could be. Also, Cypher. And so many players. Kirby's Dream Land presented by HAL Laboratory Inc. and Nintendo. Thank you for playing. Looks like we're getting over a town. And we just use the stars to hold the castle up, and it looks like an audience of Kirby's. Is it Kirby Town? Is that the lore? Extra game. Good job. Press up A and select on the title screen to start a new adventure. Good luck. Uh-oh. Huh. Looks like King Dedede's mad. Is he plotting his revenge? Up A and select. And the game just locks. Okay, that's... you have to turn it off. I'm gonna check that out. It's up A and select. Select. Extra game. So let's see what's different. Enemies have new paths. The chicks are now chickens. Bronto Burt looks different. Cappy is a cupcake that shoots off layers. Wait, I want to check in here. This room's the same at least. Let me see how fast I can do this. So the whole thing's different. He throws the bombs way faster. Like, way faster. So it's actually pretty tough this way. Alright, let's get some opinions. Do we want to see the rest of New Game Plus? Or do we want to move on to the next Kirby? New Game Plus. Okay, yeah. It has a different ending. Well, kind of. We'll see. Mostly the enemies are... Whoa! Maybe it'll go until a game over. I'll see. If a game over makes me start all the way over, then I'll move on. That guy just, like, launches at you. Yeah, you really want to be, like, proactive with these enemies. So, Sakurai had to program the enemies again for this mode, because they're different. We still get the maximum tomato. You can see it's like mirrored. This boss music, honestly, like, I think it's really good, and it's kind of a shame that we never see it again. Whoa. Okay, now he's dropping Gordos. I don't... What? Still not too difficult. I think the air puffs might be, like, a little better angled. That one just starts, like, just coming at you off the bat. I'm gonna go this way this time. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's just life there. Jack-o'-lantern instead. Those guys fly way farther. Oh, right, the Gordo now jumps out of the water. Wow, I needed that HP. I think it's tomato juice. The life. I guess Kirby's thing is tomatoes. Mario gets mushrooms, Wario gets onions. Skulls and... The ghosts are... I think the girl ghosts? I don't understand, they have like hair? Wow! Oh, okay, that's just... And another thing. Huh. Yeah, it looks like it goes... like, it's the same amount of time to get to the edge of the platform, so it's like... faster on the top. Ooh, they go all the way in. Oh, right, yeah, see... go for it. You're not invincible. Other thing? I'll be taking that. Oh, there used to be a maximum tomato somewhere. Wow, that's a little... that's brutal. Okay, yeah, let's just go to the end. fast. They kind of push the block off the side of the screen. Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot faster. So yeah, the new the extra game is definitely a lot harder. Octopus instead of squids. The cannon, like, flies up out of the water. Oops. Oh, the coconuts explode now. Yeah. I don't know why I jumped into it. It fell a lot faster too. Let's see what happens. Continue. Poke, poke. I forget what happens if you pick end. I'm a little bit curious. Oh, the Waddle Doo is a crab. It's kind of interesting because, like, well, that one was a crab, this one's a normal one. I didn't see anything there. Ooh. Yeah, they explode in this one. So that the exploding coconuts kind of became like the default. Okay, if there's still... That wasn't there before. That's super mean. Oh, they made this room, like, hazardous. For the 1-up, which is now, like, actually valuable. So, yeah, this was pretty smart design. 1-up came in clutch. What's over here? Oh, need that. Pretty smart design on Sakurai's part. I think maybe that coconut was just like on the other side or something. Okay. Because the base game isn't too challenging. But if you have played a lot of games, then you've got an extra challenge waiting for you. Yeah, those guys weren't there before. Like, just kind of mean. See, I think maybe there's... Yeah, I want that. Yeah, the health items are now, like, really important. Okay. think that whale might be a sprite in the background, the way it like... Because it shifted a little bit. And if it was a background layer, it wouldn't do that. It's kind of weird. Alright, is Shatso gonna be, or Tabula gonna be tougher? You know. Like, yes. Went from being one of the easiest bosses to this. Oh, that was so close. Oh jeez, we are taking a lot of damage this time. What's interesting is though this boss doesn't show up much in later games, its attack pattern does. Whoa. I feel like this is where, like, just flying over the level cheese is no longer really cheese. Okay, I let go of the button. Oh, yeah, now they're tangible. Sheesh. Still gonna fly over it. Because there's no way. Can we through the door? They look like little... Oh! Wow. These guys do show up later on, as like Poppy brothers that use a boomerang. I totally forgotten that this is where they came up with them. Uh-oh. Interestingly, the Scarfies are unchanged. I guess they were deemed hard enough as they were. A lot of enemies just... Oh, some of them deal 2 damage. I hadn't noticed that. That would explain why they're giving me so much trouble. So, it keeps going that way, but... Yeah, I just kind of remember the secret too well. I want that. I need these. Oh my god. Yeah, that guy just hit for 2. Hello? Oh my god. Wow, that is an attack pattern. That is I'm done with you. Okay, okay, I think I see do this, and then... Whoa. It only takes 3 hits. Okay, this corner is safer. Okay, I think I got it. Wow. Sakurai personally programmed your death, yeah. Oh, okay, these guys are just gonna... They're just in fuck you mode. Sakurai said that I've had enough. I guess you don't need those in the middle there at all, since there's a max tomato. Alright, we got the curry. Imagine if, like, on hard mode, those stars damaged you. They do! Oh, I what? They didn't on the... They didn't normally. No, get me out of here. It's raining Gordos in the bonus room? Are you serious? Give me that. This is just pain. This is a lovely room of death. They give you 2 max tomatoes because they know that you're gonna need it this time. I don't even know what Krakow's gonna do. Like, what? Oh, just you in particular attack. He... Okay, I think we got a kinda safe corner. Okay. Okay, we got it. Oh my god. It's not over yet. Okay, we did it. Every time I see this enemy, I want to eat it. It's kind of spiky though. Variety of textures. Yeah, I don't... So Kirby coded, yeah. I'm listening. Okay, I think I'm gonna do them in order this time. You just went backwards. Spicy cotton candy? Spicy doesn't mean spikes in the roof of your mouth. So this is why the boss rush is so much fun in this game, because previously, like, I was even taking damage to Wispy Woods on extra game, but now I don't have any trouble. Damageless. Easy. You cannot eat the Gordos. Like, actually. Yeah, that's definitely the easiest one. You just kind of fly over the top. Got one. Got two. Let's go. I said you can't. Kirby can't eat a Gordo. I'm saying that you can't. You're gonna be heartbroken by the reason you can't eat a Gordo. It's because they're not real. I'm sorry, but you had to find out this way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You don't want a game over here. I really don't want a game over here, because I think you have to start the whole castle over. You cannot inhale them when they're closed. Oh, those are replacing the crabs that do that. That's right, there were crabs that had a little beam attack. Those guys didn't really show up again. Just realizing. That would have been kind of a decent, like, second beam type enemy. Okay, I don't like when it's in the corner like that. Uh-oh. Oh, jeez. R-Type Sakura edition, yeah. Okay, is this one gonna have mercy? We did it, we did it. Oh, we're not over yet, but Cracker wasn't too hard. We figured him out. Wow, that was lenient. Yeah, the attack patterns are definitely random, so he could just choose to not give you bombs ever. I like the way his... Oh no! Uh-oh. We're gonna see. Do we have to start the last level over? Because it's pretty tough. We do. Okay. I have a trick. It's called the Big Cheese. Wow. I should kind of have to crouch those. This is easy because you kind of have to fly over it. So it's just like, you just do. I think this is the most annoying boss upgrade right here. Oh. It just takes more cycles. There we go. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm in focus mode now. Okay, we got enough life for this boss. Let's do it. No damage. I took damage. No death. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And it took that personally. Okay, fine. I'll die a lot on the boss. That attack's a lot harder now. I guess I need to like keep moving up and down. Alright, we did it, we did it. This one's fortunately not too difficult. You just kind of fall down right there, and you leave the level. Okay, you see, this is what I was talking about before. So you want to give me some bombs? Thank you. I think something I was going to say about this one that is kind of interesting to me is, like, the primary way of hurting him before was using the waddle dews that he'd spit out. But he doesn't spit those out anymore. Instead, a different attack was upgraded to bombs, and you can inhale the bombs. So it's just like completely different. Also, since the bombs explode, they are way harder to dodge. Oh my god. Okay. Rough cycle at the beginning, but we did it. 1 HP, we do not get a refill for... He is so much faster. And he can jump real high now. Oh, this is actually tough. Dude, just hurting him is hard. Okay, okay. Just gotta play it safe. Yeah, saw that one coming. I think we got him. Got him. Let's see. Other side. Let's see if it does not mirror the cutscene. Alright. Revenge of Deity? I don't think the ending's gonna be different per se. But there will be something else. The credits. I didn't really read these before. Director, Chief Designer, Masa Sakurai. I just wanted to see that because he's credited as Masa Sakurai. Guess that's his nickname. But now he's a hero. Special thanks to Bubby and Cypher and you, the player. Oh, not yet. No, we got the supervisor first. Usually the... Yeah, there. And so many players. Smash Brothers with only Dreamland 1 characters. I mean, it could have just been a Kirby fighting game. Maybe it should have been. Just saying. Alright, so what's different at the end here? Oh my god, thank you for the subscribe for the subscription, for the tier 1. Oh, we get little, we get to see what the enemies are called. Twizzy, Puppy Brothers Senior, Wispy Woods. Flapper, Glunk, Mumbies, Two-Face, Hurley, Broomhatter, and Booler. Lololo and La La La. Yeah, Grizzo was definitely a bear. Kaboo, Blipper, Squishy, Whizzer, and Koner. I don't like those names very much. Kabula. Kukler? That doesn't sound like a word you should say. Krako. They're both Krako. Oh yeah, what are these guys called? Tuki, Kuzer, Blopper. Gaspar. Hey, there's Gaspar. Mr. Pumpkin. Mr. P. Umpkin. Chucky, and whatever the other thing was. Flotso, Grumples, Peaser, and Blatsy. Oh yeah, what is that? Is that one? Boomer? Benny Whiskers and Kawkun? King Dedede. Or King Dedede, depending on the localization. You're our hero. Press down, B, and select on the title screen for the config mode and more fun. So we get different animation. He's defeated. Oh. He's crying. Oh. And Kirby goes to comfort him. And that's the beginning of some more lore. Is that the end of his antagonization? I want to look at the config mode. So it's down, select, and B. Let's see. Oh, we still have to restart. Okay, down, B, and select. I don't think it worked. Thank you for the follow, Nauseant. Am I saying that right? Oh, there it is. I just had to press start. Okay. Oh, maybe I accidentally hit some kind of, some kind of emulator thing. Okay, so that's kind of neat. So if you want even harder, you can set how much HP you have, how many lives. So you can just say, yeah, we're doing a no damage run. Enforced. And then we got a sound test too, with a cute little Kirby animation. It's like the Kirby jam. Okay, I wanna try that. Wait, why can't I do it now? Oh, okay, it messes up a little bit. So let's see if that works. Yeah, 0 lives and 1 HP. How far can I get? Probably not very. Oh, but we're not on extra game, so... Okay. And that's very Sakurai to do that. To just, like, build in that kind of stuff. I want to see what the animation is. That's the real reason that I did that. What happens with the end? No! Okay. So now that we have seen Kirby's Dreamland, maybe now we can uncover a little bit more lore. So we found out that at the end of the game, in the end of the extra game, Kirby and Dedede maybe became friends? It was left ambiguous. So, Sakurai making Smash a chaotic multiplayer free-for-all, but allows for 1v1 sweaty matches. Yeah, that's been his design philosophy from the start, from the very first game. This was a game targeting like new players, so it was easy, but like if you beat it enough, you can like make your own challenge mode, which is super cool. So I have a little bit more to present regarding Kirby's Dream Land. I have some concept art that I want to show off. So we saw the box arts. I can show them again for those who just got here. We have the concept box art. That's Twinkle Popo. He was called Popopo, and so we saw that he was like the name Popopo didn't stick, but the naming scheme did. Lololo, Dedede. Oh well. This ended up being the Japanese box art, which is very cute, but doesn't really show you a whole lot about the game. And the American box art, where he's white, but it otherwise does give us it shows enemies from the game, which is kind of cool. So here is some concept art, which I think is really cool. So here is concept art. This is all drawn by Sakurai himself, I believe. And this is for Green Greens. So it had more of a jungle sort of environment, although Wispywood still had apples. I'm not really sure why Kirby's orange here, because as far as I know, he was always intended to be pink, as we saw from the mock-up box art. But I guess he was a much brighter pink before. I don't know. I guess maybe he'd just been experimenting with the colors along the way. The most notable thing here, though, is that ball and chain. Punished Woods, yeah. Like, what? What is he gonna do with that? I don't know. We also have Silk Falls. This was going to be, I think, the next level. I guess you were going to go up the falls, and it looks like the boss was going to be a boxing eel. I actually don't know if that eel shows up again later. I guess we'll find out as we go. I wonder if they made him white to make him like a marshmallow, which was still in the zeitgeist due to Ghostbusters. That's a good question. That may have been the case. If it was to be more appealing, like, yeah, because they do call him a cream puff in some of the commercials, as we're going to see coming up very soon. So this is the next stage, Elder Woods. So I don't know if these were intended to be like level 1, 2, 3, or if they were just level ideas, like he was just kind of spitballing. But this was like, I don't know, this looks like that boss looks like, you know, the wise mountain that you go to receive wisdom, like, face in the mountain, please, I beseech thee. It has a vague, to me, it has like a vague like Christmas theme. It's the trees, but they also have like an ornament at the top, and the like kind of candy cane like structures. But it's very warm. It's very warm colors. Air Fortress. So Castle DDD was on a mountain, and it wasn't like mechanized quite like this. This is a theme that does show up a lot throughout Kirby. But yeah, just an interesting idea. How was Kirby going to get up there? Maybe they didn't come up with the idea. Maybe that was the challenge. Float Islands. Pretty much same idea, but there's a big submarine there that was not present in the final game. So that's kind of cool. Bubbly Clouds. So yeah, here I mentioned this when I was playing, that the clouds are more bubbly than like they were, like the concept art shows them as actual bubbles, which is really neat, and that didn't get conveyed too well. The intro animation, like they were bubbling, but we didn't really like get much else. Also, the bosses, a boy whale and a girl whale. You can tell that they are boy whales and girl whales because the boy whale is blue and has a baseball cap, and the girl whale is pink and has a bow and eyelashes. Also, Kirby's red. And the final level, Heat Palace. Oh, I'm doing this in silence. I should have been. Oh, that's okay. We're almost through them, so we'll just put on a little something. Peaceful music for this. Yeah, just a volcano level surprisingly doesn't show up all that much, but it does show up eventually. This becomes a common theme. All of these we kind of see later on, but not necessarily like none of them become as iconic as those first few. And this next thing is not concept art, but it is something from Sakurai's design notes that I think is just really, really cool. And before I show it, I want to mention what, according to him, on his YouTube channel, he said that he completely forgot that he did this and found it in his notes years later. After he had already designed the whole thing again. So this was an idea for how you would take damage and lose lives in Kirby. The screen was going to stay centered on your character, but if you get hit, you'd be sent flying and the screen wouldn't scroll. And once your momentum stops, then the screen scrolls back over to you. And the more damage you take, the farther you fly. And if you fly off the screen, you lose a life. Being in a mouthful state, so if you have something in your mouth, you are more resistant to damage. Same if you're crouching. So this was an idea that had just been like rolling around in Sakurai's head for like a long time. Also, you get sent flying farther if you get hit from behind. So that's all really, I think that's just super cool.